What's up everyone, quick video for you today, time for some more Warframe. This one is on the top weapon in the current event, the Glaxion Vandal. Glaxion's been in the game for ages now, never really struck a chord with anyone. Even after the beam rework it was pretty much ignored, but now it's got a Vandal version with some stat tweaks and additional mechanic. Is it any good? Not going to go through all the stats, I'm going to put them on screen now. It's mostly just improvements over the standard weapon. You got more crit, more status, more magazine, and better reload. The thing is that is new on the weapon is that on contact with the enemy, in terms of the actual beam, anytime that hits an enemy, it will create an AoE cloud, which means anything within 3 millimeters of the target that gets hit will get damaged from the weapon as well. It's full damage too, which is really nice. There's no reduced damage, no reduced status or anything. One thing to note here though is if you put Puncture on the weapon, it will break the cloud entirely, which is actually a bit unfortunate, because you have to make the choice of whether you want to hit multiple targets or hope that your cloud hits basically anything around the target you're actually hitting. As for the build, 14% crit doesn't sound much like, you know, a crit build would work, except that just because of how beam weapons work, actually crits way more than you'd expect. So it works out to be the strongest build here. I'm gonna say though, hunter munitions is 100% not worth it on this weapon. You've got a 30% chance to crit and a 30% chance of that 30% to proc munitions. It's not worth it at all. Don't try and force it onto the build, it's just not good. Heavy caliber, it works amazingly here, doesn't affect the accuracy of the weapon at all, so it is just straight damage boost. Vial acceleration, which is going to boost our fire rate and boost our procs per second, which is incredible on a gas build. Elementals on here, we have corrosive for everything armored, and then gas for squishy corpus. This is one of the best gas proccers in the game by far. It will shred fleshy corpus in no time at all. So with the build done and dusted, what do I think of the Glaxion Vandal? Well, honestly, I'm not that big of a fan of it. I'm not saying it's a bad weapon in general, but I just don't think it's that great. Doesn't deal with level 165 gunners with too much difficulty at all. It's not top tier, but it's not bad. The problem for me though is that it falls apart at around mid-level. I know that sounds really weird, it deals with the top end okay, but falls apart in the mid-level. But that's because of the ramp up mechanic. It starts on 30% damage and gets stronger the longer you keep the beam on the enemy. Low level, that 30% is enough to kill enemies without worrying about the ramp up. Mid-level though, while a lot of weapons are still one-shotting, you're having to spend time on each target getting that damage to ramp up before they die. That's not to mention that, my god, this thing is boring. I know this is a personal preference thing, but it has no recoil, it's got no flare, it's got no theatre to it. I know the Ignis has the same problems of the no recoil or anything, but it has the advantage of being a flamethrower. It's just innately cool. Glaxion Vandal to me is just rather boring. Ignoring that though, it's not a bad weapon, it's really not. It's going to deal with sortie level targets easy, but it's not something I would take at mid-level over something that's going to basically just insta-kill everything. Even the Ignis, I wouldn't take this over the Ignis at all. And it's not something I would take with me on a high-end run. I'm sure that people are going to enjoy this, and with a super high Riven disposition like this has, I'm sure this can be pushed even further damage-wise. But honestly, this one is just not for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of it? Have a video on the least interesting weapon coming out soon, the Spectre Vandal. But for now, many thanks for watching. Feel free to hit that like button, sub for more Warframe content, and I shall see you in the next one.